The Arrowverse is not what it used to be. I think everyone can agree on that. With the rise of superhero television on Netflix and other streaming platforms, what once used to be the most impressive accomplishments on the small screen became...
Infinite velocity will soon be mine! And once my ascension is complete, all will bow before the might of Godspeed!
that. But while the CW continues to drag the dead carcass of The Flash around for another 12 seasons, by some miracle, the people at HBO Max have brought us Superman and Lois. The best thing to air in the CW since the first 5 seasons of Supernatural. Or so I've heard, I've never actually watched Supernatural. The fandom seems very scary. Superman and Lois does what Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and even the Snyder Cut failed to do. Modernize Superman. Not by changing the character, but by changing the circumstances around him. See, Superman as a character has never needed to change. Making him more dark and angsty takes away what works about the character. Both writers and general audiences seem to forget that he grew up on Earth for all of his life, meaning that he's basically just a human. He's mostly just a really, really good guy who's kind of dorky, who ultimately believes in the innate good within humanity despite all the terrible things that we do, who sees the best in everyone. Now that's not to say he doesn't have internal conflict, of course, with his incredible powers being the main source of that. Superman is just so conceptually broad as a character that oftentimes his best stories touch upon what it means to be human and the nature of good itself. So the fact that Superman and Lois still manages to capture that essence while still making all of their other characters great and having awesome action is a feat that should not go unnoticed. The show focuses on Clark and Lois moving to Clark's hometown of Smallville with their 2 teenage sons, Jonathan and Jordan, while dealing with a mysterious stranger who wants Clark dead, no surprise there, and a businessman named Morgan Edge who has his eyes set on the small town. It's clearly inspired by Peter J. Tomasi's 2016 run on Superman, where Clark and Lois raise their son John, who has become Superboy. This version of Clark is amazing. Tyler Hoechlin plays the best live-action Superman since Christopher Reeve. He's kind, compassionate, and kind of a dork at times, which is always great. He's true in his beliefs and always tries to find a better way to solve a situation.
Here you go, friend.
Thanks. Cool costume.
Thanks. My mom made it for me.
He's also pretty friggin' badass. This version of Lois is amazing. Elizabeth Tulloch is just the best live-action Lois ever, at least the ones that I've seen. Everything that Clark sees in humanity, he sees in her. Her dedication to the truth and helping people is just as strong as Superman's. And of course she has her classic Lois snark. And she's a badass too. God, it's like they're ripped right off the page. Their relationship is perfect, perfectly balanced. They have great chemistry, they support each other, they enhance each other's best attributes. The whole flashback episode that showed how they fell in love was just the greatest thing in the world. How does a network like the CW that has relationships like this?
You are not the Flash, Barry. We are.
No! No! No!
Even manage to air one as good as this? But then we have their sons, Jonathan and Jordan. John is very different from his comic counterpart, and Jordan is a new creation for the show as far as I'm aware. Having them be twin teenagers was a stroke of genius, as it allows for completely new stories that Superman has never had to experience before. John in the comics was a child, at first, and most importantly, had powers. Jordan is the one who has powers here, and seeing the two of them have to deal with it is one of the show's strongest aspects. They do both kind of fall into typical teenage stereotypes in media, but they both prove to be more than that. You really empathize with both of them, even if they get annoying on occasion. You empathize with all of the characters. Clark wanting to keep the world safe, but also just wanting to spend more time with his family, and how he has to change as a father.
Yes! Yes!
Yo, that's what I'm talking about! Yes, sir! Oh my god!
Lois being so overprotective of her kids, while also putting the blame on herself for what happens to them after a tragedy that happened in the past. John reconciling his place in the family and how helpless he feels in the face of all the danger that they now face. Jordan's anxiety over his emerging powers and whether he's strong enough, and his desire to just be normal again. General Sam Lane, Lois's father, being an actual character for once, and not just some jackbooted alien-hating stereotype, and his split between his duty and his family. Hell, Lana Lang's husband has a great arc, for crying out loud. And of course, spoilers by the way, there's John Henry Irons. He lost his family and his world to an evil Superman, and he refuses to let this world suffer the same fate. But over time, he learns that this Superman is not the same as that one, and that he would never betray humanity, not even in the face of his own people. Even the villain is sympathetic, but that's getting into even more spoilers. Did I mention that the show looks incredible? Like, goddamn, a budget makes all the difference. The action scenes, while not mind-blowing, are pretty great and fit the limitations that they have pretty well. The CGI is kinda dodgy at times, but it's solid, I'd say. I will definitely be making a whole video essay analysis on this first season eventually, cause I have so much more to say and I can definitely examine it more critically than I have now. This was mostly just me gushing about it for a couple minutes. Is this the best live action DC series? No, that's Doom Patrol. Go watch Doom Patrol right now or I'll cut off your ear. But this is definitely the second best live action DC series. I give Superman and Lois 8.5 slices out of 10.